Let me take you back for a second. Remember when you didn't know what you were doing? When your first garden turned into a weed patch? When you burned your first batch of jam? Or overfed the chickens? Or totally flopped that DIY root cellar? Well, we've all been there. Every seasoned homesteader, and in fact, every property owner, and just about anybody who started out on anything, started out green, learning through trial and error and a whole lot of YouTube. But here's the turning point. At some stage, you stop being just a student of this life and you start becoming a steward of it. You start realizing it's just not about just what you're learning, it's about what you're leaving behind. Because self reliance is not a solo sport, it's a legacy. And step 7 of the self reliance scale, multiply and mentor, is where that legacy starts to grow beyond your backyard. Today's episode, From Student to Steward, Creating a Legacy. The highest yield of homesteading isn't just food, it's people. This episode will explore mentoring, hosting workshops, and modeling a resilient life. Now, a lot of us get stuck in the idea that we have to be experts before we can teach. That mentoring is for the old timers, the folks with a food forest and a commercial grade freeze dryer. But let me level with you. You're further along than you think. That's right, you're further along on this journey than you might think you are. If you've ever made your first successful loaf of sourdough, you can teach that. If you've built a raised bed and harvested your own lettuce, you can show someone else how. If you've learned to say no to the system and yes to your soil, you've got a story worth passing on. Being a steward doesn't mean you've mastered it all. It means you're willing to pass on what you've learned while you're still learning yourself. Because the truth is, your imperfect progress is exactly what someone else needs to see. And legacy is what grows when you give it away. There's a difference between productivity and fruitfulness. Productivity is how many jars you canned. Faithfulness and fruitfulness is how many people you taught to can. Productivity is pounds of potatoes. Fruitfulness is your kid helping plant them and then teaching their kids. So let's be clear. Your greatest yield isn't your food, it's your people. Legacy happens when you turn your lifestyle into a model. When your choices quietly give others permission to believe a different way is possible. You might think you're just growing food, but what you're actually growing is curiosity in your neighbors, courage in your kids, and conviction in your community. That's stewardship, and it doesn't start when you've arrived. It starts when you decide to turn your education into an example. Now, there's 3 simple ways to move from student to steward. Now, let's get practical. How do you actually go from being a student to becoming a steward? You don't need a ministry. You don't need to be a firm name or a farm name or a nonprofit. You just need to be intentional. Here are 3 simple ways to begin. And we've talked about some of these already, but we're going to go over them again. Number 1, host a homegrown workshop. You've learned something, so teach it. Teach it right from your home. Invite 5 friends maybe for a sourdough Saturday. Maybe host that free backyard basics night in your garage. Teach water bath canning in your kitchen. Run a small intro to composting class at your church or community center. Keep it casual. Focus on one topic. Provide a hands-on experience, but most importantly, leave space for questions and for relationship. Your goal isn't to impress, but it is to impart what you've learned. Now, the other one, this one's kind of funny. Might be the best way. I don't know. Adopt a newbie. Yep, I said it. Adopt one. Not legally, of course, just practically. Find someone, a young couple just starting out, perhaps. Maybe a neighbor who's curious about what's going on across the fence. A single mom who wants to grow food but doesn't know where to begin. or a teenager in your family who wants to learn skills that matter. All right. Take them under your wing. Invite them along for a planting day or a butchering day, maybe a soap making Saturday, or maybe your pantry prep for the winter. And teach while you work. Share while you build. Let them see the whole process, failures and all. You don't need to know everything, just be one season ahead. And third, model a resilient life, publicly and imperfectly, in all of its glory and all of its failures. Sometimes the best mentoring you'll ever do isn't in a class or a workshop. It's just living your life out loud. Don't hide your lifestyle. Let it be seen. Post your mistakes and wins on social media. Talk about what you're learning at the church or the feed store or the coffee shop or wherever it is you hang out with people. Show up at local markets and talk with first timers there. Or if you're the first timer there, well, then you're the one that needs the mentor. I don't know. But no, just kidding. Talk with those people there. Talk with somebody that is clearly a first timer. Because people are watching, and when they see someone living differently, it gives them courage to ask how. You don't need to shout from rooftops. Just don't hide your light under a bushel basket of perfectionism and privacy. Be seen so others can believe. A lot to that, a whole lot more than homesteading. But anyway, may have to steal that one for a sermon. Anyway, stewardship means your kids should know more than you did. Interesting thought. Because let's talk about that. The legacy that you leave behind in your own household. All the canning, curing, and composting in the world means nothing if your kids think it's irrelevant, annoying, or just mom and dad's thing. So here's the challenge. Don't just make your home productive, make it formational. Involve your kids or grandkids or niece or nephew, in seed selection, garden planning, harvest celebrations, livestock chores, meal prepping and preserving. And let them mess it up a little bit. Let them experiment. Let them own part of the process and explain to them why you're doing it and why you don't trust the industrial food system, why you believe in the local economy, and why you prioritize presence over convenience. They may not appreciate it now, and in fact, there's a pretty good chance. But one day they'll remember, and when they hit hard times, they'll have a blueprint burned into their memory. We know how to grow, we know how to make, we know how to thrive. And that, my friends, is a legacy worth passing down. Now let's zoom out for a second. Why does the world need stewards right now? Well, I think you all kind of look around. The world is a bit unstable. Food security may be sketchy. We already learned that supply chains are fragile, and we know that skills have been vanishing. And in that kind of world, guess who rises to the top? Stewards. That's right, people who stewards. People who don't just consume, but preserve. People who don't just prepare, but pass it on. People who aren't just angry at the system, but are actively building an alternative. One of my pet peeves about the protesters and the people who cry for change and the system is this and the system is that, and they go out and they're holding signs and they're walking in circles, which is their right to do, but they're not providing an alternative. They don't have a plan. They just want to tear down. You got to have a plan. If you're going to be there, you got to have an alternative plan. Okay? You don't have to change the whole system. Back on subject, you don't have to change the whole system, but you can change your street. You can impact your family. You can leave behind more than a prepper pantry. You can leave behind people who know what to do. That's why this matters. Because you're not just a student anymore, folks. You're not just a practitioner. You're a steward. And we need you to multiply. And I'm going to close it down, start winding this one down with this thought right here. Okay? Legacy is the harvest you'll never see. That's the pain of it. Most times, legacy is the harvest you never get to see. And you don't always get to see it. That's for a fact. Sometimes the person you mentor will outgrow you and move beyond you. And that's okay. That's actually part of the goal. Sometimes your kid will rebel. Imagine that. And come back 20 years later using everything they saw you do. Sometimes the seeds you sow in your community won't sprout until after you've left. But that's how legacy works. It's the harvest you may never see, but it's growing quietly year after year. And one day, someone will say, I learned this from them. They showed me how to do this. They lived it, and now I do too. And friends, that's the highest yield you or your homestead will ever produce. So before we close this up, let's land it with this clear next step. Okay? Pick one way to steward that you've learned this season. Maybe host a workshop. Well, maybe not. I understand that can be daunting. Adopt one beginner. Invite one person into your process. Maybe post one honest video of your life on the land. Not the Pinterest video, not the Instagram, not the Facebook perfect. Everything's in order. An honest video. Teach one kid one meaningful skill. You don't have to launch a movement. You just have to be able to move one person forward. From student to steward, from consumer to cultivator, from isolated prepper to legacy builder. The scale doesn't end at personal freedom. It grows when you give it away. Thanks for listening in on this one. Next up tomorrow, the Freedom Relay. Why movements need multipliers. But until then, remember this. You were a student, and now you're a steward. And someone's future just might depend on what you do with what you've learned. Well, good morning, friends. It is a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning here on the Farm to Table Show. It is so good to be with you all live. I figure you've probably all figured it out. That it is live Ryan this morning. But if you hadn't, yes, indeed, it was live Ryan. We're going to do roll call. It is time for some roll call. We're going to get this party going. Of course, Scotty was in nice and bright and early, turning the lights on with a little bit of scripture. Let your speech always be messed up. Didn't bring something to drink. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you should answer each person. Colossians 4:6. Great thing there, Scotty. Great. I love that. All right, let's go all the way back because that old chat's going. Okay. Good morning, Joy Bartlett. Good to see you. Good morning, Janet Neese. Glad to see you in with us. And you're not on the replay crew today, so that's cool. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you in there. Let's see. Of course, Bro's in. And Johnny made it. Let's see. Everybody saying good morning. Good morning, Rebecca. Touch my yarn. Glad to see you in this morning. There's Robbie with a wild huckleberry. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Yep, all the good mornings. Everybody's getting the mornings. Yep. Uh, what, no chicken laryngitis. That was me, but did it not play through? Because it played through on my end. Strange. Young chickens heal faster. Let's see. And there's Tracy. Good morning. Good. Yep. High temp seemed to be a bit better this AM. Well, let's see. I haven't looked at mine, and we'll get there to the Redneck Weather Report in just a minute. Yeah, 73 right now. So not too bad. Good morning, Musgrave Family Farm. Good to see you in. Let's see. All y'all folks up north, it's a little bit cooler. And Janet said it is garden day. All right. Good deal. Yeah, it's nice to have good weather if you're going to be out working in the garden. Let's see. Terry said he'd been shredding leaves and mulching the garden the last couple of days after work. So hot. Yes, it has been. I haven't got nothing done. It's been too hot. Good morning, Ed Kirkpatrick. Good to see you in. Yeah, it'd be nice if it cools off just a few degrees. I agree. Uh, Real feel in the hundreds. Next 2 days will be in the 70s. So it's catching up to you. Let's see. That's a big temp swing. Yep. Don't catch a cold. Yep. Heat advisories the next several days. Yeah, you're getting what we got there, Robbie. Let's see. Uh, let's see. We know adopt a peep. Oh, goodness, Scotty, you're killing me. Well, if he'll learn, I guess. Let's see. Janice said, I'm teaching my daughter to can this year. Finally, she's getting interested in growing her own food. And sometimes it's like a lot of things, taking time. And I must have missed an old wives' tale. Let's see. What do we got back up here? I got it back up. We talking. Let's see. Uh, I guess maybe I missed. Oh, unless it's talking about real feel and temps. It's the only thing I've seen that could be talking about. But anyway, let's see. Uh, let's see. This little light of mine. Yeah, heard that all my life. Here, I really love your shrubby. Must have missed something. But anyway, I'm sure somebody will catch me up later. Uh, let's see. Love your scrubbies. Yep, there it is. Yep. Yes, indeed. Uh, this is wonderful. And she'll have a skill, great memories. Yep. Robbie, my kids aren't into this lifestyle. Hopefully, my kids will get more into it. You never know, Robbie, how one day they might wake up to it. I've got, it depends on their age and their mix, but and then kids from around these parts where I live respect nothing. Yeah, and unfortunately, yeah, we have. Oh, I got to read this. Let me see. People think I'm crazy for prepping, growing food and animals, canning. Do you have now tell them what it was like after Hurricane Katrina? No grocery stores or gas stations for 3 months. There you go. Um, and I agree with Keith. They are crazy to depend on food supply chains. Let's see. Yeah, and Terry's got right. Janet, it's not necessarily end of world stuff, but hurricanes, tornadoes, loss of jobs, etc. That's right. It's about weathering any storm. There's Jeff. Good to see you in there. My kids didn't carry on the lifestyle. Yeah, it's and teach. Yep. Uh, and that's an important thing right there. Honestly, right here, folks, this right here, what Jeff posted, he said his kids didn't carry it on, but they know how. And that a lot of times is what it is. Keith and I grew up in, a certain way. And, my dad gardened when we were young, and we were on our grandparents and uncles. And, we learned a lot of things. We just didn't live that lifestyle for many years, didn't carry it on. So that's the sometimes case, but they do know how. Uh, and I'll say this, Scotty, as far as I've got some of the 72-hour kits and some of that stuff, and you know, um, I put that as a beginning level. That's better than nothing. You've got something there just in case. But as we've learned over the last couple of years, um, there is more involvement. There is the more you've got your hands in it, the better it is. But it's a good place to start. It's better than nothing. Um, let's see. And what Terry had to say, our daughter is starting to do what she used to make fun of us. We started paying attention to what's in our food, changing things, and now several years later, we see her watching it too. And that's the way it is. Uh, and let's say they both have gardens, I guess. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's a little. Uh, there you go. Joy said, kids learn some by snapping beans and shelling peas, shucking corn in the backyard. I remember snapping beans and stuff with my mom and my grandma and stuff, and what I wouldn't give to be able to do that again. Yeah. Good morning, Edward Braden. Okay. We'll have to look into that. We'll get into that. Said no to Facebook not sending me, doesn't seem to send me notifications. Okay. All right, we'll have to figure that out. Oh man, y'all guys are busy over in there this morning. Even though the kids don't seem to care now, you're planting seeds when they see you. My son now wants land and to work it. He wants a family compound. LOL. Your example is teaching, and they do here. Exactly. Thank you very much for putting that up there, Tracy, because that is exactly it. Johnny did play. Okay. Oh, yesterday during Memorex, he didn't play. Huh. Strange. Yeah, okay. Uh, I wish I could get there. I'm working on getting there, Janet. I really am about giving up fast food and cooking. Uh, Shooting on cool this one. And Georgia going to 100 degrees for Ed in his part of Georgia. Yep. Whew, man. Yeah. Okay. The wives' tales we're talking about was catching a cold with a temp drop. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But anyway, boy, y'all guys' weather is going crazy. Here we go. I'm kind of catch up. Y'all guys are rolling. Stockpile shooting for 10 gallons a month and rotating it. It's a lot, but it's generators. Yep. Before my sister passed, she took dry food and put it in. I want to read that up. Pass in canning jars and by vacuum sealing them. I now have that food. There you go. Let's see. And Edward said, let's see. Yesterday I harvested seed pods from my deer plot, radishes, and canned them and pickled them. There you go. Hey, that's just multitasking right there, Edward. That's what I like. All right. Well, it looks like I'm caught up. Man, y'all had a busy chat going over there this morning. I love it. It's great. A lot of information sharing, a lot of conversation. And that's what we like about it. But since weather was a pretty high topic in the midst of all that, let's go on over and check in with Jack for the Redneck Weather Report.
Good morning, Rednecks. It is 74 degrees this morning, June the 25th, 2025. We got a 9-mile-an-hour southeastern wind, making it feel like it's 76 degrees. Dew point is 66, and we're going to get to 92 today. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good.
All right. Well, there it is. Kind of a similar stuff. It is funny the differences depending on where you're in the country. I know yesterday it was up in the 90s here, and then we had a little bit of just some small light rain clouds move through, dropping some rain here and there, downpour for a little bit and then leave. But, and it cooled it down a few degrees, surprisingly. I didn't complain, I will promise you that. But as I'm out in it all the day. But thanks, Jack, for the Redneck Weather Report over on Dyer Family Farm. If you're not a subscriber or follower of Dyer Family Farm, go over and check them out. Great family and some pretty cool entertainment and good information. So go check them out. Moving right along. Yeah. So today's step, y'all guys, I think got it. I mean, I don't think I got to go too deep into it because as I read through the chat over here, y'all guys were right along and totally understanding what it's about. He said he has heard it's going to be cooler summer overall. Anyone else hear that? I hope so. That's my answer. I hope so. I could deal without the 115. But anyway, maybe over there it's going to be a cooler summer. I don't know, but I can hope. Uh, Okay. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Joy, for sharing that. Praying for Jack today has medical tests on his stomach issues. So definitely continue to keep them in our prayers as he battles that and trying to figure out what's going on, as well as a lot of the stuff going on with their family struggles. Yeah, wouldn't mind. I like that. um, so let's get into today's brain buster as I'm looking at the clock up there. Uh, why are deliveries on a ship called cargo, but in a car it's called a shipment? We'll repeat that. Why are deliveries that are on a ship called cargo, but in a car it's called a shipment? Hmm. How about that? That's interesting. Hmm. Yes, interesting. Make your head hurt early in the morning on that one. But anyway, so there you go. Just one of those things. It's one of those backwards things. But anyway, quote of the day today, of course. Uh, Terry said he's never noticed that. I like it. Yeah, it's yeah. Being around, uh, being around different transportation, it is strange, but yeah. Uh, uh, and we just didn't have the humidity. At least it would be cooler in the shade. There we go. Joy's laughing. Good deal. Yeah, the humidity is the killer. No doubt about that, Robbie. He said that. Yeah, the humidity is the killer. Uh, but anyway, so quote of the day, and of course, as always, tied into the topic of the day. But anyway, the greatest legacy one can pass on to one's children and grandchildren is not money or other material things accumulated in one's life, but rather a legacy of character and faith. The late Billy Graham said that. The greatest legacy one can pass on to one's children and grandchildren is not money or other material things accumulated in one's life, but rather a legacy of character and faith. Billy Graham. I love that quote. I love that. That's so true there. His Joy of the Humidity and Steam Bath. I love y'all guys over there. That is great. Um, let's see. There you go. um, Events coming up: Modern Homesteading Conference, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, June 27th and 28th, up there in Coeur d'Alene, beautiful area. Check out them out at modernhomesteading.com or on the Facebook. Ozarks Homesteading Expo, September 5th and 6th, Marshfield, Missouri. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be a great one. Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, September 26th and 27th, the Southeast Expo Center in McAlester, Oklahoma. Again, growing, looking better than ever. And Homesteaders of America Conference, October 10th and 11th in Front Royal, Virginia. I did notice yesterday that on the Facebook out there floating around, some of you may have seen it as well, that Mid America YouTube Meetup is posting already the dates. It's May of next year, May, I think 15th through 17th, but I'll double check it. Anyway, it's going to be at Lake Texoma this year, down on the Oklahoma-Texas border. They moved it down there. Anyway, so I know a lot of people are already clicking interested, or some people are already clicking going. But anyway, so that's coming up. That's looking way out into 26. But I did notice that the information is out on Facebook already. They did make a post, so it's already planning for next year. All right. Before we wrap it up, I got a couple of minutes here. We're praying for Jack and his testing and his family, and of course, praying for uh, continue Scotty's continued healing. I know his wit and sense of humor are certainly intact. But and loyal and faithful, but I know that he's still working through things and continuing with those things, as many of us are. And normally I don't, don't, I don't know. I guess I just don't always ask a lot. But today, not too long from now, I'm going to be getting in a car and taking my daughter and granddaughter up to our children's hospital here in Little Rock. My granddaughter, one of my I've got a few, but one of my granddaughters has a problem with her left eye. It is something with the optic nerve. I don't know if it's twisted or something on it, but basically her left eye is entirely a blur. She can't see anything out of that left eye. Don't know how long it's been going on, but the local ophthalmologist, the local doctor, say it's far enough advanced that they can't do anything with it. And that they're not, they did put glasses on her, but not really sure what that's going to do. So we got to go see a pediatric ophthalmologist at Children's Hospital, and today's the first meeting. Anyway, praying for positive results there, praying for them to be able to figure out how to fix her eye. What we can do to be able to make that adjustment for her. She's 5 years old, and so still very young. But we'd really like to, the Lord to intervene on this one and get her vision restored in that eye, and certainly to protect the other eye, as the eyes. For those who don't know, the eyes are the only organ in the human body that are sympathetic to each other. If one quits, the other will compensate, but also there's a danger that the other one could, uh, you know. could quit. So it's always dangerous when eyes are having problems like that. But anyway, so thank you all for your prayers in advance, and right now the ones I'm seeing, and thank you in advance. For those who may watch later, I will try to keep y'all updated, on that as well. But that's fortunately the young are able to adapt to things a little quicker than some of us old folks. But anyway, point is she's doing well, but would love to be able to get that fixed for her. But anyway, and pray for the doctor's hands and pray for healing. I appreciate that. But anyway, we're going to get it on out of here. I don't like ending on that note because I believe it's going to end positively, and I believe that the Lord is going to intervene. Tomorrow, as I said, tomorrow is, got the topic already out. I said it earlier in the day, and I buried it in my notes over here. But let's see, where did I bury that? I did bring that on. Yeah, y'all get to see me struggle to find something. It's what happens when the brain's not awake. There we go. Oh, yeah. Why movements need multipliers. That's right. And it is the last episode. Yes, bro is bringing that up. Tomorrow is the last episode of the 7-week series. It is the final one in step 7. Of course, Friday will be Front Porch Friday, and we will recap, you know, for sure this week's step and possibly until the whole 7, and if not, maybe next week. But we're going to get into, we'll recap and cover everything on Friday. But tomorrow is the last episode of the 7-week series. And so it's been a blast. It's been a ride. I can't believe it's been 7 weeks, but here we are. And there's so much to cover. But anyway, and so yeah, and yes, Terry, that is that is always the hard part is finding the next topics and finding out what's happening next, what we're doing going forward, especially after 7 weeks of having it laid out. But anyway, so thank you, and yes, Scotty, God heals all. Thank you. And congratulations to everyone on completion of the course, Keith said. I like that. Yeah. Yes. Congratulations to those who stuck with us through it all and learned and grown and shared your expertise and your experiences and your comments on it. That is also greatly appreciated. We will continue to discuss this probably more on Friday, because we need to get out of here. I'm hanging over, keeping everybody over a little bit. So anyway, that is a wrap for today on the Farm2Table Show Morning Edition. Thanks for joining us as we strive towards building stronger communities for now and in the future. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit the like button, give us the old thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversations about food, farming, and community. Until next time, keep your roots deep and your vision growing. Good food starts with great people just like you. Remember, we are hashtag stronger together. Hashtag think outside the big box store, shop local. Hashtag connect and grow. Hashtag tablers unite. And I like the last one. We're going to hashtag God heals all. That's right. As you go out today, and hashtag love to all. He threw one in on me at the last minute right there. Anyway, everybody have a great and blessed day. I hope it all is well for you all, and stay cool, stay safe out there as you go throughout your day. Drink lots of water, hydrate, and take care of yourselves in this heat that everybody's talking about. We have, and be a blessing to someone today, even if it's just a smile. A kind gesture goes a long ways. And folks, we will see you all on the other side, and we will hand it to Hank. Let Hank take us on out of here. So take it away, Hank.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.